Focus is the degree of sharpness at any one point within an image. Focus relates to the sharpness of an image. If an image is in focus, it will appear clear and sharp. If an image is out of focus, it will appear blurred. In order to understand focus, we need to also understand how a camera lens manipulates the light. As the light passes through the lens, it is bent so that it converges into a focal point. A sharp image is created when these points of light converge on the camera sensor. Your camera may have different focusing modes. You should look at the manual to find out what these are and how to access them. Cameras that are set to autofocus will electronically calculate the focus and adjust the lens accordingly. Some cameras may struggle to autofocus in certain conditions, such as photographing in low light, scenes lacking contrast, subjects with no clear edges, and moving subjects. In these situations, the lens will focus back and forth, searching for something to lock onto. If there is anything in front of the subject, it is most likely that the camera will focus on that instead of the subject. Your camera may have different autofocusing modes. One shot or single servo is best for stationary subjects. Once the autofocus system has achieved focus, it locks that setting in when you take your picture. AI servo or continuous servo focuses the lens continuously, making it good for tracking a moving subject and continually adjusting the focus. In automatic autofocus or AFA or AI focus, the camera determines which mode is most appropriate for the situation and can move between modes depending on whether a stationary or moving object is being photographed. In order to manually focus an image, we have to look through a viewfinder or at an LCD screen and use our own judgment to decide whether an image is sharp. It is useful when you want to have total control over where the camera is focused, but can be tricky to get right. There are many reasons an image could be out of focus. Depth of field refers to how much of the image is in sharp focus from foreground to background. Images with shallow depth of field will have one part of the image in focus and the rest out of focus. This can be done intentionally for creative effect, but it can also be a mistake as a result of selecting the wrong aperture setting. If the lens is dirty, scratched or marked, the camera can sometimes struggle to focus correctly and the image may appear blurred. Take care of your lens by using the lens cap and cleaning it regularly. There is no way to correct an image that is out of focus. In this instance, the image should be taken again. The camera's autofocus system can sometimes be fooled into focusing on the wrong part of an image. A typical example would be focusing on the background between two figures, making the figures out of focus. There is no way to correct an image that is inappropriately focused. The image should be taken again. Focus lock can ensure that the correct part of the image is in focus. Pose your subject, then frame your point of interest in the centre of the viewfinder. Half press the shutter release. Then, without letting go, reframe your image by moving the camera. Then fully press the shutter release to capture the image. The focus will be locked onto your point of interest even if it's not in the centre of the frame. On touchscreen cameras and mobile phones, focus lock can be achieved by tapping the screen on the point of interest. There are times when a photographer might want to use focus creatively. This can help to create interest, direct the viewer, or for atmospheric effect. For example, soft focus can give a sense of romance. This effect can be created by using a special filter or by placing something in front of the lens to diffuse the light, such as a piece of transparent fabric. Or you can use manual focus to slightly defocus the image. Using a large aperture will allow part of the image to be in focus while the rest is defocused. This is a good technique to emphasize part of an image, creating a point of interest, or to simplify the background. To recap, focus relates to the sharpness of an image. A lens is used to focus light entering the camera. Most cameras have different focusing modes. In autofocus, the camera automatically sets the focus. There are different autofocus modes. In some situations, autofocus may not be effective. In manual focus, the photographer adjusts the focus. Manual focus gives more control but is more difficult to get right. Depth of field is controlled using aperture and relates to the amount of an image that is in sharp focus from foreground to background. An incorrectly or inappropriately focused image cannot be fixed. Focus lock can be used to focus on a specific area of an image. Focus effects can be used creatively.